Hi guys, I'm Nathan Lively with Sound Design Live, and today I want to talk about this video that I published on Monday. So on Monday I published this video, this interview with Bob McCarthy called Where Do I Place My Delay Towers? Now we talked about a bunch of stuff during that video, but one of the things we talked about was this particular design, and one of the main questions of the person who sent in that design is, do I have the right number of boxes in this array, in this delay tower? And then yesterday I talked to a guy in South Africa named Okert, I think, and he asked me if I could go through step by step how Bob McCarthy answered this question so he could better understand it. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do in this video right now. Now the answer to that question is actually pretty simple. All Bob did was he compared the number of boxes in the main array and the delay tower, and then he made that into a ratio. And then he compared the distance, let me get rid of some of this stuff. Then he compared the distance that this array has to travel versus this array. Then he turned that into a ratio, and then he just compared those two numbers. And he said they're similar enough, so yes, you have the right number of boxes in your delay tower. But let's go through it and talk about exactly how I figured that out. Now, first of all, I should say I'm going to start calling this array the relay array. Why is that? Well, Merlin Van Veen commented on the video, and he reminded all of us that we made adjustments to the design, and therefore this was not a delay tower anymore. Why is that? Let's take a look at that real quick. Turn on these lines. So originally, before Bob made changes to it, this array was pointed up somewhere like this. And you can see that now basically these two arrays are doubling up. They're covering the same space here. And this is more of what we think about when we think about a delay tower. So the delay tower is adding support here for the main array, and they're both covering the same area. So Bob made a change to it though, and he said, he changed some of the display angles, and he said, let me aim this down like this, and then if we look at the prediction here, we'll see that now this main array here is basically covering up until the stadium seating here. And now the stadium seating is only going to be covered by this second array, formerly known as the delay. Now we're going to be calling it the relay. So if we look at a prediction of them together, we'll see that now there's an area of handshake here where the coverage, like a relay race, the baton is handed off from one hand to the other. Now the coverage is handed off from the main to the relay array. Okay, so relay array. Do we have the correct number of boxes in the relay array? So first of all, we need to know the number of boxes in each array, and then we're going to look at that as a ratio. So I'll just click on here, and I see that there's 16 elements, 17, 18. 18 elements. Over here, 8 elements. (18) divided by 8 is 2.25. Uh-oh, that's not where I wanted that. Okay, so we have a ratio of 2.25 boxes between the main and the array. So the multiplier is 2.25. If we were to multiply 2.25 by 8, we would get 18. Okay, so that's the first step. Now we want to look at the distance that each of these has to cover. So now we know that this main array doesn't cover all the way back to here. Now it covers down to here, just the flat seating area. And then this relay array covers to there. But Bob didn't look at the section view when he did that, so we're not going to do that. He looked at the plan view. So let me zoom in here. And in the plan view, he didn't look at, let me get rid of some of this stuff. In the plan view, he didn't look at, oh, I don't want a line. I want an arrow. He didn't look at this direction, but he looked at here, you know, through the center of its coverage area, right? So that's what we're going to do. This distance to just the end of the flat seating area here to this distance, right? And we can do that by just drawing a line. And another line. This one is, let's say 70, and this one is 30. $70, 30. Okay? 70 divided by 30 is 2.33. 70 divided by 30 is 2.33. So this is now already the answer to our question. So Bob looked at this and he said, 2.25 to 2.33. I'm comparing the ratio of boxes to the distance ratio that the distance they're covering. And they're only off by, you know, about 0.1, 0.1, 3, 4, 5, 0.12. And he says that's close enough. Why does he say that's close enough? 2.33, 2.25. If we open up a calculator and we say, what's 20 times, 20 times log 2.33, 2.25, 25, um, 2.33 by 2.25, 1. So it's only a difference of 1, right? And we could look at that, but we could also look at the linear to log ratio decoder in Bob McCarthy's book and see that a difference of 1.1 is only a difference of 1 dB. So 1 dB is not enough to be a problem, and that's why Bob McCarthy is saying, hey, these ratios are close enough. Okay? So that's the step-by-step method for this comparison that Bob McCarthy did in the video. There's one more complexity that we can get into, which is that later in the video, Bob suggested, what if you changed the speaker from a Leo to a Lion? And he basically said, the max SPL of a Lion speaker is, I think he said, 3 dB lower than a Leo. So if we go back to the linear log ratio decoder and we look at minus 3 dB here, we'll see that that is a linear offset of 0.7, aka 30%. So if we did that and we change those boxes, then what would the difference be? So first we are looking at a ratio of boxes of 18 to 8. Let me go back to the section view because I think that's easier to see. 18 boxes here, 18 boxes here. 18 to 8 is a ratio of 2.25. But if these boxes are now 30% quieter, then instead of, it's 18 to 8, right? Yeah. Instead of 18 Uh-oh. Where'd my calculator go? There it is. Instead of 18 to 8 being 2.25, now it's 18 to 8 times 0.7. So we no longer have a 2.25 ratio, and now we're up higher. So if we want to get back down closer to this ratio of 2.33, we're going to have to add more boxes, right? How many more boxes? Well, I can kind of just add them here. Instead of 8 boxes, what about 9? Well, now we get to 2.85, 2.5, 11 boxes is 2.33. Okay, so if I have 11 boxes of Leo, that should be enough. Wait, I'm saying it wrong. If I have 11 boxes of Lion, that should be enough to match my 18 boxes of Leo. So now I have a new ratio here. I'll just write it out. 18 Lion. Made it too big. Hold on a second. Lion to 11 Leo. That's a ratio of 2.33. Okay, so hopefully that was more clear. So that was the step-by-step way that Bob McCarthy figured this out. I hope that's more clear now. Let me know if you have any questions about this, or you saw something that I did wrong, or you saw something a way that I could make this even more simple. All right, thanks guys.